Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another high-level StarCraft 2 Best of 3 today. The bottom right spawning as the red Zerg player, playing for Alpha X, will be Ragnarok. And in the top left, spawning as the blue Protoss player, playing for DPG, it's none other than herO. herO is perhaps the only Protoss player, or one of the only Protoss players, that doesn't really care too much about the meta game. He'll look at a game or at a matchup and go, okay, what is the standard currently? And then he'll play something completely different. So just the exact opposite, majority of the time. And this time, he's opening up with a core first here to start with. So definitely a bit of an interesting start for herO. Core first will delay. Well, it will cut about 2 probes for you. What is he drone scouting? Did he just gas steal against the Protoss? Usually I'd say this is pretty bad for Protoss because he's opening up with core first. No, it's still bad, I think. I haven't seen this in a long time because it's so ridiculously easy to block. All you need to do is just right click on your own gas with a probe and hold position, and they can never take an extractor there. Okay, this is actually kind of bad, I think, here for herO. Huh. It's gonna take a second gas on the low ground. This first adept is still going to be out pretty darn quick, of course, with that core first. So we'll start making its way across the map. Second unit is a stalker. Curious to see what this adept will be capable of doing. Tech is going to be delayed, that much is obvious. Perhaps a fast third base, as we have a block here on the third hatchery. That's kind of cute. It's kind of cute. So he forces his opponent to take a different hatchery than Ragnarok initially wanted. Ragnarok was moving towards the triangle hatchery and now ends up with the line base. So yeah, a bit frustrating for him there. I'm not quite sure if this was worth the investment though for our good friend herO. I don't think it was. I mean, forcing a different base is annoying, but it doesn't tend to really be the end of the world. And that gets chased out of the main base as well. He tried dealing some damage, killed 3 workers. Or sorry, 3 links, not 3 workers. Extractor still up, second gateway is on the way as well. Twilight Council was halfway done. Actually, these are 3 gateways. This is the exact same build order that SOS did versus herO in 2020 Katowice. And this is a build order that herO has been playing a little bit. He really has been playing this a fair amount. This is really one of the only times I saw it being played was against herO on Nightshade, maybe the map was called, I think. Very small map it was. And I think SOS even ended up losing it. But he can also have won it, I can't quite recall. One of the only maps that herO lost against Protoss. In that year, I think, or at that tournament. Maybe he ended up losing to Zest in the semis, that's also possible. Or was it 2019? That's all so long ago, my friends. No, that was 2020. We have these adepts moving forward right now. Oh my god, it's such a cute pylon positioning. Look at this. I didn't even know this was possible. But apparently herO knew it was possible. These adepts are going to be trading out with these links. These are actually not good trades though. Because these adepts do not have any glaive upgrade. No resonating glaive. They're actually quite weak. I did not know that this was possible whatsoever. That is such a cool little move. That is super useful actually. Definitely can make that work in the future with something else. 2 more gateways. Is the follow-up prison being thrown down as well? Twilight Council still researching that resonating glaive. Will finish up in a couple of seconds, but there's roaches out already. We have 41 workers for Ragnarok. To be quite honest, he can lose 7-8 workers and he won't even need to worry. Like he can lose those for free basically and he'll still be fine. His opponent is now transitioning into double Stargate, cancelling the 2 gateways, so really tricking his opponent there as the Stalker managed to take out that Overlord. Ragnarok is going to be kept completely in the dark. herO is one of the only players that pretty consistently also tends to cancel tech. Like he'll do an all-in into tech cancel, or he'll tech cancel into an all-in, or he'll tech cancel into like DTs. He's really quite keen on that, as these adepts are now trying to shade in into the natural. There's not a single spore out yet. I don't think this is a good fit. I think it's a terrible finish. Holy crap. He's going to lose every single adept here. And he'll get like 5 lings and a queen. Oh. There's a resource lost over here. Ends up killing a bunch of lings, but loses 17 adepts. Another adept warping into the third base. The first 2 phoenixes are on the way here. +1 air weapons as well coming out. I actually think it was really important for herO to keep those adepts alive, to fake a little bit of pressure, force his opponent to just kind of stay at home and not scout, because now there's a pretty decent chance that Ragnarok will just walk up this ramp, at least with a ling, maybe even see those air weapons being researched, and then everything is going to be quite clear to him. No third base being here yet, should be a little bit suspicious. But then again, the last thing that Ragnarok saw was these 2 extra gateways going down, right? These turned into Stargates. It's going to be quite a surprise. That's a magic trick that many a magician would be very proud of. And now I'll turn these gateways into Stargates. Alright. 3 adepts in the prism, still flying around looking for a little bit of damage. We have a big counterattack coming out of Ragnarok. We'll be able to cancel this base, as now the phoenixes start moving across the map and immediately start working on these roaches. First roach goes down, second roach goes down. Third base gets cancelled though. Same time we still have these adepts going pretty hard. The drone count actually isn't that spectacular here for Ragnarok. It's a little bit surprising. He's had a lot of time in which nothing was happening, but as these adepts did more than only 7 worker kills. He just really hasn't been building them. Now with these phoenixes out, I always say that phoenixes is economy as well, or are economy, phoenixes are. As whenever they want, you can always trade in your phoenixes for drones. If you really want to do damage, you can always do damage. So it's kind of like a drone voucher in a way. You can always get a lot of free damage with them too. They have a fair amount of shields, they fly quite quick, they have high damage output. A lot of these overlords are going to be taken out right now. And herO, after quite honestly an awful start, is getting a lot of work done. 62 workers still here for Ragnarok. Ragnarok is desperately trying to push out as many overlords as he can, of course. Doesn't want to lose the ability to produce here. Queen gets taken out, there will be 1 queen remaining, 1 phoenix dies as well. It's very funny as these adepts are just like kind of going from base to base. These roaches being taken out. I think there might be some potential for these adepts to do some damage in the future again, once a lot of roaches have been killed. Sadly though, for herO, there's still no real possibility for him. Oh, he needs to lift his own immortal. Doesn't quite get the lift on his own immortal. It's always a good way to save a unit. Hasn't been capable of getting his own third base. He's been doing a lot of damage on the other side of the map, but yeah, his army isn't that great. His base count isn't that great. We're going for the... This is the weirdest 2-base all-in I've seen in my life. Look at this. What is this army? Phoenix, Immortal, Adept, all-in. I've never seen this before in my life. But for herO, this is just another day in the office. 10 Corruptors are out, should be capable of fighting these Phoenixes if he wants to. Roach count actually isn't all that large. There is 2 Immortals in this army, should have been 3. Sadly isn't. Phoenixes will start fighting with these Corruptors. Prism gets targeted down. I'm not quite sure what herO was trying to achieve. They were flying into the Corruptors, but the only thing he will end up achieving is losing that Prism. Phoenixes are kind of trading equally against the Corruptors. That, however, is good for the Corruptors, not for the Phoenixes. The Phoenixes, well, they kind of lose out there. At the same time, herO won the ground battle, so losing in the air, winning on the ground. Next Prism is on the way as well. A couple of extra Adepts on the way. 6 more Ravagers and 7 more Roaches being constructed. Fort base... he's gonna start a fort base. This is an odd timing for a fort base, it really is. There's no real need for it. There's a need for lots of units, but there's no need for a fort base. I guess there's some slight oversaturation in the main base. But these drones can just be redivided into the natural and the third, and you're probably going to be just fine. Large adept count here though. 16 adepts, 1 immortal. I'm not quite sure if these adepts are enough just by themselves. They will finish up here, I can feel it. Yeah, this is such a typical herO move. Will try to snipe as many of these ravagers as he can. He's going to get caught by a bunch of these biles as well, though. Loses 3 adepts practically immediately. Kills 1 ravager. Will take out another queen as well. If he target fires properly, he will target fire properly at the same time. He's trying to fight off these corruptors. Will do a decent job in that. There's such a large army currently for Ragnarok that I don't really see a way for herO to fight this. I don't think he should finish that, and he won't. It's a good call. Warps in 6 more stalkers, as well as a RO will be at home. So we're going to be going into disruptors from here as a follow-up. Problem is that there is a full wall, so rallying these across the map will be quite tricky. Adepts will enter the main base. No, they will start attacking an extractor. Not quite sure if that's their best use. Now start going for drones. At the same time, herO is losing absolutely every single unit that he can. And start shading into the main. Drone pool needs to occur immediately here. There's no defense whatsoever. That queen tanked a couple of shots. 9-10 workers will fall. 54 workers remain for Ragnarok. 49 remaining here for herO. herO still only on 2 bases. Main base running out. 4 patches remaining. Natural base running out. 4 patches remaining. Currently, herO mining off of 8 patches total. That is the equivalent of 1 regular base. 1 base eco for herO. Has a lot of gas income still, of course. He's working off these 4 gases. We have 500-600 minerals extra a minute coming in for Ragnarok, just because these workers are spread a little bit more evenly. Also cutting a little bit in the gas income, I think. I wouldn't mind seeing just 5-6 extra drones being produced here. There is +1 on these roaches, and I think I'm having a difficult... Oh. Hello, boys. What are we doing? Just having a blast together on the high ground, I guess. Ooh. Can't leave. 2 disruptors are out. 3rd disruptors on the way as well. Blink is being chrono boosted and +1 melee as a baneling nest on the way. I wouldn't mind if there was a little bit of creep, but without creep, I think banelings, it'll be a long way from them being useful. Like, even with baneling speed, they're not going to be super brilliant. I think I might have actually preferred attack into Hive, going for lurkers. Not lurkers, excuse me, vipers. It's kind of like a hard counter to the disruptor. Ragnarok is still kind of low eco, but comparative to his opponent is very high eco, so doubling his mineral income. Wouldn't surprise me if Ragnarok just decides to pull the trigger at some point as well. Just say, hey, I want to end this game. Because the game is pretty much over. 63 workers against 49. Mineral income is heavily in favor here of Ragnarok, who's mining 1500 minerals more a minute. 26 banelings are being morphed. +1 halfway done. He could technically even swap into Muta. It would be terrible, but I don't think it would matter if he just throws out 12 Mutas right now. He just has... just way richer. I'm surprised herO's staying in. I'm also surprised that Ragnarok isn't ending the game right now. But then again, just wants to play it safe. Doesn't want to accidentally lose attacking into a Protoss player that's down 15 workers. That's down 100 supply. Instead he says, no, I'm just going to wait for my upgrades. Even throws down an infestation pit as well. And once centrifugal hooks finishes up, I think that will be the timing that Ragnarok is looking for. And that will be the day that herO dies. $19 more Banes being morphed. Adding on the initial 26, it's going to be, what is it, 45? 45 Banelings. Waddling around. Centrifugal hooks as well as +1 finish up. Yeah, this is going to be the timing. 18 more Banes on the way. Oi, 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 oi. Very large amount of Banelings here, I mean. We have about 3 Banelings for every Stalker. That should be plenty, especially because there's also 24 Roaches and 9 Ravagers in this army. Lynx coming with a big surround as well. Banelings trying to connect. And Disruptor shots are not really hitting anything. And yeah, this is... I mean, even if the Disruptor shots would have killed 7 Banelings each, then the Roach Ravager army still would have been too much. But these Banelings are going to connect. A lot of the Stalkers go down. The base falls as well. Ragnarok still at 163 supply as herO desperately shooting Disruptor balls to save his life. And this, ladies and gentlemen, should be a GG gets called. Ragnarok wins game number 1 in this best of 3. Game number 2 is here over on Hardwire, as once again we see... I'm so curious what this thing... Like, what does he keep going in with this drone? I just don't even understand what his plan is with it. Maybe he wants to hatch block his opponent? That I can kind of understand. I think hatch block genuinely is quite a good build. I believe it's a useful tool to have. So if this is for the hatch block, then I'm all down for it. And it indeed seems to be the case. 18 hatch block here on the natural. What is the response out of our Korean Protoss player? Chrono boosted Zealot. 4 workers being pulled down. Second gateway being thrown down as well here on the low ground. And another pylon up high as well. 5 workers, a Zealot. This is the standard response. Add in the gateway and we get hero's response. So he opts for aggression here. Trying to get more out of this than his opponent can. I'm not quite sure if this will work. This really does represent a large investment. And of course that initial gate... Second Zealot? Okay, that's a cancel. But that was suspicious. The initial investment of the 150 minerals perhaps isn't even the biggest thing. It's also the fact that you're just going to be investing a lot in that second adept. I'm curious to see if we'll get that before the Nexus even. Yeah, so we see a significant delay on the Nexus because of this. Significant delay on the second gas as well, which will delay the tech here for herO. So we just have all of these extra added on delays, and you don't really build a gateway for a single adept, right? So this is going to most likely be 4 adept opener, except he's supply block. You can't build that 4th adept. He needs to lose this worker. Yeah, he's just gonna build a pylon instead. Yeah, he wants to lose this worker to get that adept faster. It's not going to work though. Zealot's being extremely useless as well. What a poorly executed build here out of herO with that supply block, stopping him from building that next adept. Stargate will get thrown down about 40 seconds after we usually see it being thrown down. So it's a late Stargate. These adepts, they represent a very large value here for herO. They don't... It doesn't look like a lot because, well, there's a bunch of links out already. It feels like Ragnarok is in the correct position. But these adepts, they were such a huge investment. And not seeing any type of return out of these two would be disastrous. It really would put herO in a terrible position. 3 bases are already done for Ragnarok. herO's natural is just now finishing up. Stargate is extremely delayed. Link count is large. And from this point on, I think we're gonna see pure drones. That will be it. I mean, there's nothing that these links can't defend, I think. Like, until maybe like 6 adepts, these 12, 14 links are going to be enough. We have our first Void Ray on the way. We still have the drone alive as well. What is this drone doing? It's unbelievable. Drone Scout really has been the revelation for me. One of the weirder moves that I've seen this Korean Zerg make. If he also hatch blocks the 3rd base, I would actually lose it. Void Ray pops out, as this Overlord will have to find a final resting place. It's going to be over here. It splats into a pile of blood and other Overlord organs. Spores on the way. Twilight Council as a follow-up for herO. It's also getting a 3rd base. 3rd base isn't necessarily that delayed. About 20 seconds later than we expected. But Ragnarok still having free play here. Just building drone, drone, drone. Queen, drone, drone, drone. And currently in a fine economical position. And that's just going to keep increasing. I wouldn't even mind if he throws down a 4th base very quickly as well. Let's say he takes like 1 or 2 gases and then goes into that 4th base. I mean, the saturation is looking so ridiculously healthy right now. He just has 16 guys on minerals in every single base. And this is really the only thing that tends to matter, is how quickly you can saturate those minerals. Sure, the gas is nice and interesting for the tech, but initially for that money burst, look at the difference in supply already. And this is before any roaches have been built. Okay, we're going to see a larger gas count pre-4th hatch. I think at least, yeah. Okay, here comes 1, 2, 3, 4 gases. Evo chamber gets thrown down as well, and now is the perfect time for a 4th hatch, of course. Probably should be built over here. I wouldn't mind that. +1 air weapons. This is a trick. This is a fake +1 air weapons. This is absolutely not a real +1 air weapons. And I think that Ragnarok will finish or figure it out right now. It's the Shade finishes. Should start Roaches, I think, immediately rather than anything else. Roach Horn is done, of course. Moving into a supply block perhaps pretty soon as well. 1 Roach on the way. 12 links as well. There's a decent amount of adepts here. There's 9 to be exact. Glaive, well, it's actually not done yet, so I'm not quite sure what herO wants to do here. Probably should warp in another 4 adepts at home. I don't think he can finish that. He, of course, is though. herO never finishes. herO never not finishes his first adept shade. He believes that's the most important one. These adepts actually do get a decent trade here at the start, but I don't think you can finish this. Just gonna lose a lot of adepts again, similar to game number 1. Painful. Will he cancel the +1 air weapons? I do hope he does that, because otherwise he's going to be in a world of trouble. Adepts trying to shade back into the main base, but picture perfect hold here for Ragnarok. He's building a fort base, halfway done already. The follow-up for herO is going to be an immortal push, and he's going to let the air weapons finish, even though I believe that the only air unit we will see is this single Void Ray. So this Void Ray will feel very special. Very, very special. It's like having a one-man department, then getting a gym just for the one-man department. Well, you have a massive, 30 people department, in this case the adept, and they're getting their gym, or well, their +1 attack afterwards. It's a little bit of an odd decision. Nidus network as well as a Spire on the way. Feels like Ragnarok doesn't even know yet how he wants to win this game. He's like picking and choosing, but this isn't a buffet, my friend. You do need to pick one thing to go with. And he finishes up the Nidus network, I believe. Also still getting the Spire. Triple Queens on the way still as well. I really wouldn't have minded if he just would have gone up to 75 workers and said, hey, with this worker count, I can just really do whatever as long as I don't die. But if he's down 5 workers, all of a sudden there's a little bit of pressure here on Ragnarok to actually start performing his tricks. And well, so far his tricks haven't been looking all that great. We get a recall on these adepts. We'll be moving over towards the 3rd base. There's an immortal in the natural. There's a crap ton of queens as well. 12 queens, holy cow. There's only 10 roaches though. It really isn't a whole lot of roaches. If these roaches just end up dying to the immortal, which is definitely a possibility, and with the disruptor on the way, that just kind of adds on to that. I feel like this has the potential to fail. And I did believe that Ragnarok kind of was too big to fail here, but I guess he really isn't. Disruptor shot's going to hit and connect with a couple of these queens. One queen will fall. Ravagers actually are fighting against adepts. That's the one fight you don't want Ravagers to have. Adepts trade very well against Ravagers. Now supply is dwindling here for herO, but he warps in 9 more adepts. Apparently he has 10 gateways. No clue how he got those. Disruptor is being constructed. I think these glaives are going to finish up, these glaive adepts. Yep, they are. Not quite sure if I agree with that, because these bios are all going to connect as a result of that. The natural, we have a disruptor, but it can't really get to these roaches and ravagers, which is where it wants to go. Now we'll instead see a shot on these queens, kind of a mediocre shot, honestly. Disruptor can't die, super important for the defense here. 7 Muras on the way, so the follow-up will be the Muralisk. Blink is already on the way though, and we're only on 61 workers. This was a failed attack, but perhaps it still was good enough. Oh well, it's that disruptor. It's very sloppy control there out of herO. Very, very sloppy. +2 attack on the way, Blink finishing up. Still have that 1 disruptor in the prism, and all the roaches and ravagers return back home through the Nidus. As the first 15 Muralisks are on the way, +1 melee attack as well. And now I think we should see a quick round of drones. Yeah, beautiful stuff here, Ragnarok. This is exactly, I think, what you should have done about 3 minutes ago. Just a 1 round of drones to provide you with that extra income, with that extra eco that's just going to propel you forward in the economy. There's not a single battery or cannon in the main base. There's no stalkers here yet either. 5 get warped in immediately, but with only +1 attack, I'm not quite sure if they can fight these Muralisks straight up. The answer seems to be a hard and resounding no. More stalkers need to come and help out, and Ragnarok will just bounce and go into the 3rd base and start attacking the workers here. Good blink down out of herO, control a little bit slow out of Ragnarok. We'll end up losing a Muralisk. I think so far 2 Muras have gone down. 7 workers, and this is an absolutely fine trade here for Ragnarok. If you kill 7 workers and lose 2 Muras, and you have this type of eco situation, yes, that is genuinely fine. +1's about to finish up as well. +1 attack for these Muras also being researched. Muralisk count is on 19. We're creating 5 more, so go up to 24. 5th base on the way. will provide gas 9 and 10. Currently, of course, already on 8 gases here on these 4 bases. Very curious to see if... oh, here we go. Snipe on the Disruptor will barely be in time, and I think this is actually looking pretty good here for Ragnarok with this attack. A lot of Roaches still on the ground. Immortals are getting targeted down here by the Mutas with the bounce attack, of course, doing a lot of damage against these Immortals, and Immortals will all fall. Now it's Roach, Ravager, Mutalisk against this pure Stalker army, and sure, the control out of herO is good, but you can only control your units so much. If you have 10 Stalkers against 15 Mutas and 6 more Roaches, then it's just going to be a very tough fight. Bunch of links are being produced as well. 8 more Mutas on the way here. Triple Stalker warping, but I think this is going to be the herO stays in for a very long time, but I just don't think this is going to be possible. GG gets called. The herO loses the second game as well. Ragnarok, with the drone scout shenanigans, manages to win this series 2-0. That's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully I'll see you all next time for a new video. Bye bye.